I'm Caroline.
And I'm Steph.
And welcome to our very first episode of Tea and Tarot. So Steph and I have been friends for a few years now. We went to college together to study naturopathy, and we both graduated. Last year, thank God. We are starting a business together. So this vlog is kind of about like documenting our journey together and also talking about things that we find interesting and I think that you would find interesting as well. So I guess a bit of background on how it all started was back in August, we decided to go on a road trip to Byron Bay. It was all very impromptu. So it was the two of us, plus another friend of mine, Suze, and my dog Hugo. He's a star sleeping in the corner there. And it was Steph's first time to Byron Bay.
Yay.
So, and I thought, we'll just have some fun, some girls. So I thought, just like as an impromptu, spur of the moment thing, I brought my little tarot cards with me that I'd sort of been messing around with for the last few months. And it's called the Golden Tarot, and it's not the traditional Rider-Waite deck that most sort of tarot readers use. And it's based on like kind of really beautiful Renaissance and like sort of medieval art. And that's sort of what drew me to it. Anyway, so I brought that along with me. And at the very beginning of the trip, just as a fun thing, I asked, what lesson are we here to learn today? And this is the card that came out. The Death card.
Dun dun dun.
So what does the Death card actually mean?
Okay, so the Death card is probably one of the most feared cards that people who aren't aware of the tarot, when they see it, kind of freak out and think, oh, does that mean someone's actually going to die or something like that? But really, the card is all about transformation and change. So whenever change occurs, you always need to let go of something to make room for the new. And that's kind of how we really felt on this trip, that we had to let go of things, and that in doing so, we made room for better and new things to come into our lives.
And you know, when Steph sort of explained what the Death card meant, I was a little bit skeptical. I'm like, I don't know about that. We're just here to have a good time. But at the time, I was actually going through quite a lot of like internal struggle because, you know, we had just finished studying naturopathy and I really wasn't happy doing the one-on-one consults. And I was kind of struggling to let that go. And I think everything that happened on this trip, and you know, a lot did happen, has helped me to sort of release it and kind of let go of the fear of the unknown and of like, you know, what will happen next. And sort of just embracing the unknown, because I guess that's really what life is all about.
Yes.
And what transformation happened for you?
Also very similar. I think that I had to let go of a lot of old thoughts and beliefs I had about myself and who I am. And I think I always kept a lot of my personal life private and my interests, and being there just made me feel like I could be myself, and especially being around Caroline and our other friend, it was really empowering as well. But I let go of just like layers that I thought I had already released, but they were still there, and it was just becoming more of myself.
Yeah, and I think because I know we talked about this before, how you always felt that you had quite a strong intuitive and spiritual I guess gifts or sort of, you know, abilities that you sort of kept hidden because of, you know, whatever's happened. I guess, you know, like being raised in an Asian family, we're sort of kind of conditioned to think, oh no, like you must have academic success, go to uni, be a lawyer or an accountant or, you know, an engineer or you know, marry one at least. And doing this, like studying naturopathy, is like a radical departure from all of those things, and especially using our intuitive abilities to do more like energetic kind of work.
Yeah.
So I think that's sort of that's what really came through for the both of us really in this journey. So anyway, so we pulled the Death card on our day one, and I thought, oh hell no, but whatever, let's have a good time. So we like, you know, went around to all the different areas. So I've been to Byron many times, but it was Steph and our friend's first time, so I sort of played the tour guide. And one of the places we visited is Nimbin, which is basically the hippie capital of Australia. And they are quite famous for their local produce. marijuana. So when we were there, we did as Romans do, and we procured some snacks, and we brought them home, and we basically got like pretty fucking stoned that night. And it was really fun. So I was so high, and I thought, oh, what can we do when we're high? So I brought my tarot card deck out, and I just started like messing around. Like, I don't really know anything about tarot, and I thought, oh, it'll be pretty funny to just do this. And then like suddenly Steph steps in, and like she's like, oh no, you guys are doing it wrong, you should do the Celtic cross, blah blah blah. And I was like, what the hell, what are you talking about? And it turns out like she knew heaps about tarot that I didn't know, and that's like another thing that you kept hidden from us and everyone else. But it was really fun. So tell us where you learned to sort of read the tarot.
Okay, so when I just finished high school, I started working at a crystals and gift shop in Caringbah, and we had readers, and they would occasionally run workshops, and one of them was Lynn Boyle, and she really taught us kind of the process of how to read cards for someone else and the journey that the cards take you through.
Yeah, so that was really fun, and you were so good actually, because you were able to kind of, I guess, intuit what the cards meant for us, and and not just this card means X, Y, Z, but really to bring it all together. And so that was quite funny, because it was something I had no idea that you knew anything about. So that was a lot of fun. And then on the next night, I think we did she came out with all these palm reading skills, and I was again, what the fuck? Where did this come from? So where did you learn to do palm reading?
So I suppose in Asian cultures, or at least in my family, my grandparents were always looking at other people's palms and reading it, and so I was always quite interested from a young age. And then I think when I was 16, I went to a kind of a little short course with Paul Fenton Smith, and he taught us how to read palms.
Yeah, and it's a pretty cool skill actually. So I'm kind of keen to, I guess, learn a little bit more about that through you. And then on the third night, so by then we had eaten all of the Nimbin snacks and thought, oh, what else can we do to have a good time? So turns out Steph had brought these lotus flowers, and we ended up doing this lotus flower meditation, which we had sort of been doing kind of messing around with in the last sort of few months. And because I guess lotus is this beautiful symbolic flower which has quite a deep meaning. Yeah,
so my background's Vietnamese, and that's our national flower, but it is a very sacred flower for lots of different cultures. And the symbolic, spiritual, and energetic properties of a lotus is really from how it grows from the mud, and it really transforms and blooms into this beautiful, fragrant flower. And it's very similar to us in our lives, that we might go through challenges and traumas and yucky stuff, but then eventually we come out and
we rise above it all.
Rise above and bloom into who we're meant to be.
A beautiful lotus flower.
Yes.
So we did this beautiful meditation where we, because lotus flower tea is quite big, so we got a small bowl, and we had the lotus flower bloom in the hot water, and we sort of meditated on it, and we drank the tea, and then we slept with the bowl and the lotus flower next to us. And then the next morning, which sounds a bit crazy, but we went.
Fun.
It was really fun. We went to the local beach near our Airbnb, and we walked into the ocean, and we released the lotus flower into the sea, and it was actually a really beautiful moment for us, because it sort of, we watched the lotus flowers drift away, and it was kind of releasing the old baggage and making space for the new in a symbolic and also a literal sense. And I was like, oh, I hope it doesn't float back, but it didn't. It actually washed out into the sea, and it was super cool. Yeah, so, and during that time, I kind of had this idea that, how fun and awesome would it be to be able to bring this sort of experience to other people, and to make it sort of fun and accessible, but in a way to sort of bring this into everyone. so that they can also like have a meditation and release whatever emotional baggage that's holding them back. So that's sort of the idea of our business came about, Bark and Pith. So since coming back from Byron, we've been meeting quite regularly to talk about how we're going to be starting this business, and a few things like have sort of come up. So we decided to first start this vlog where we kind of document our journey and also talk about the major arcana of the tarot deck, because that is like a really interesting, I think, way to sort of show the beginning and end of a journey. And I think that's what we're on right now. We're about to embark on this exciting journey. So what have you been doing in the last few weeks? We've
doing Marie Forleo's B School.
Yes, it's been pretty good. So it's like an online e-program for, I think it's mainly geared at female entrepreneurs who want to kind of start their own business, but in an ethical, sort of sustainable way.
Make a difference as well.
Yeah. And we've also been looking at some logo designs, chatting to potential suppliers and other people that we know who have also started a business that's similar to ours. And yeah, it's actually been really fun. So what we are going to do over the next sort of few weeks is to do maybe a couple of these vlogs per week, and where we kind of share with you what we've been up to, where we are on our journey, and any kind of problems that we might have had, and any sort of learnings and insights we've learned, and also kind of incorporating the various different arcana. Is it arcana or arcanas?
Yeah, the major arcana.
Major arcana. So, okay, major arcana tarot cards.
Yeah.
So that's pretty exciting. So anyway, thanks for joining us for our very first episode.
Thank you.
And we will see you at our next episode.
Bye.
Which will be actually the very first one.
So we'll be talking about the Fool.
Yeah, Pity the Fool.
Starting a new journey.
Yes, so we'll see you then. Bye.